we are building an APU build. This is a CPU build, or a build with a CPU, I should say, that has integrated graphics for gaming. This build does not have a graphics card. So to start things off, we have the Ryzen 5 8600G. For desktop APUs, this is the second best option. The 8700G is a little bit better, but that costs $300. And that just makes the total build cost a little too expensive for my liking. We're going to plug that 8600G into an ASRock B650M Phantom Gaming Lightning Wi-Fi motherboard. Very cheap, micro ATX B650. Does have built-in Wi-Fi though. Not a whole lot of other bells and whistles. It actually has the ugly Wi-Fi chip on there, which is very annoying now that I see that, but that box is checked off. So we got that. We got some Clev Bolt V 32 gigabyte DDR5 kit, clocked at 6,000 megahertz. Probably CL30. Doesn't say. We'll check it on the sticks. I think it's CL30. We got that right there. For the SSD, also from Clev. This is the Clev Crass C910. This is a NVMe Gen 4 1 terabyte NVMe. I actually really like this one. It's on the more budget, affordable end for sure, but it has the removable heatsink, so you can choose to either install it or use your motherboard's heatsink. That always comes in handy. To cool our 8600G, we have another ID Cooling Frozen A410. This is my favorite all black air CPU cooler. It's just so clean. It's got like a very boxy look to it instead of like rounded, jagged edges everywhere. Super flat, super clean. And it performs very well for the price. To power everything, we got the MSI Mag A650BE. This is actually an improvement on the typical BN power supply that we buy that are very affordable. This is a tier C model. If you go to the new and improved PSU tier list, tier C, but the BE version is actually semi-modular, which will definitely come in handy in our build today. I got some extra fans. I think we're only going to need one of these actually, but I did get some Thermalright C12Cs. This is a pack of 5. We definitely do not need 5. And then finally our case. I apologize if you guys were here for Thirsty Thursday 2 weeks ago, because it's the same case. Sorry, I like it, but we have yet another Lian Li A3. Sorry for the lack of variety. This is the last Lian Li A3 build. I just really like the price point of this, and again, I was trying to build a PC that we could potentially sell, and I don't want to make an APU build that doesn't have a GPU be like a fish tank. Have you ever seen a fish tank PC without a graphics card? It looks very funky. So I wanted to pick a case where it hides the fact that we don't have a graphics card, because there's no tempered glass side panel. So we won't even know aesthetically. So I got the A3 again. This is micro ATX, but it is the size of a big ITX case, which is nice. And it does hold a full-size ATX power supply up at the front, which is very nice. But since we have the semi-modular power supply, we won't have a huge bulk of cables up at the front. There is the parts list. The 8600G for $189, the motherboard for $120, RAM for $90, the Clev Crass 51, the MSI A650BE for $60, $80 for the case, $27 for the cooler, and then $16 for the fans. You probably shouldn't include those because we're going to use probably just one of those. $636. That's all brand new parts with absolutely no deal. Definitely not something that I totally recommend, but we're going to find out just how good it is in case you want to go down the APU route. All right, let's get this out. You reading Twitch or YouTube chat? Both. I got them both up. Always got them both up. First stream, peak channel, by the way. You know what's a wild concept? Is the people that say, like, it's my first stream, and they join mid-stream. It's like, they haven't even seen the intro. They have no idea. You know, like, you're like, don't get me wrong. I'm glad you're here. Oh, man, we gotta do this ourselves? We gotta do the Wi-Fi thing? Ew, I don't want to do that. Are you serious? I don't even see where... Oh, the IO shield's gonna have the holes. Oh, wow, that's super annoying. That's gonna add, like, way extra time. We do have a BIOS flashback button on there. Ew. Okay. That's not fun. Alright. But yeah, they haven't even seen the the Thirsty Thursday intro. That's wild. This is also my first stream. I didn't get notified. You gotta join Discord. Discord, I send out a manual at everyone ping every time I go live. That way there's no excuses. And now if you turn off Discord notifications, I can't help you. Although I do post it to IG stories and TikTok stories. Okay. All right, we got our 8600G here. Flip that upside down so it falls out. Gonna lift open that right there. We'll do a quick little inspection to make sure the pins are good to go. They look good. With AM5, the lettering always goes just straight up and down, as if you were reading it. I'm rotated 90 degrees, so that's why mine is sideways. But I'm just gonna line that up. There's also a little notch here on the... I don't know if you can see that. The little notch right here on the socket plastic itself to make sure that we're good. Give it a little wiggle. Per usual, throw that down, push down uncomfortably, and boom. Our CPU is now installed. Now we're gonna get our Clev Crass, not our Clev Crass, our Clev Bolt RAM 6. Gonna keep it rotated at 90 degrees. We're gonna install it in the second and fourth slot, second from the left. That is always where you're gonna install two RAM slots, slots 2 and 4. Push that down, even pressure. Make sure you orientate it correctly so it doesn't break. Till it clicks into place, boom. That one's done. I didn't know you streamed, man. I've been streaming here on Thirsty Thursday for like 5 years. Man, you've been missing out. Got our SSD. Again, this is why I like the Clev Crass. Because they don't... Oh my god. They don't pre-install the heat shield. I actually like it. Because for a budget motherboard like this, we're going to want to put it on there because the motherboard doesn't have one. But the high-end motherboards, they will come with their own SSD heatsink. And it's kind of annoying when the SSD has one. Because sometimes you want to take it off, sometimes you don't. It's a whole thing. I debate about it every single time. But Clev just gives you the choice. You know? So we're going to install this SSD like this. Get some zoom in action for you. We're going to install it like this. We do want to make sure that the Clev branding is straight up and down. So we will remove this 3M protective tape that is on the thermal pad right here. That's what's going to help transfer the heat. And then we're just going to line this up, make it look nice and straight. Push down on the adhesive, and then boom. It's got a nice little thermal pad on there. Or heat sink, I should say. Install that into the slot. We will use the SSD screw that comes with your motherboard. And I am just now realizing that I don't have any tools. So let's get some tools. We will need an LTT screwdriver, some cutters for zip ties, and some screws. I don't think we're going to need anything else. No, that should be it. Also, while we're here, we might as well get our credit for the build with this Ryzen 5 8000 series. I don't know if I have any 8000 series stickers on here. I can't see them all. But I don't see them. I don't think I have 8000 series on here. I almost never build with 8000 series. We'll put that over here in its own island, or on its own island. There we go. There we go. 8000 series island right there. All right, we got that. Let's get the tiny screw bit for that SSD screw. Did I lose the SSD screw? No. Still got it. We're still good. Put that in like that. Push down the SSD. Screw in that one screw. And boom. Our SSD is now installed. The only thing we got left to do is the CPU cooler. So let's do that. This is the ID Cooling Frozen A410 Black. I love this cooler. I love the presentation guide. Everything about it is just so good. The boxy, clean line aesthetics. I mean, that fan is just so clean. The presentation of the accessory, or the hardware, it's just so good, man. It's so good for a typical like $26-ish cooler. You can put 2 fans on it if you want to. Comes with like this very nice layout, and all of these are labeled too. LG 1700, AMD 1200, etc. It's just how you want every thermal base. It's how you want every CPU cooler to be. How do we install AM5? I've only installed this like 30 times. That. Okay, I got it. We're good. Thank you. What CPU? It is the Ryzen 5 8600G. It is an APU. This is an APU build today. No graphics card. All right. So first up, we're going to switch out this bit. First up, we're going to remove these plastic bridges that come with the motherboard because we don't need them. No GPU. It's just the 8600G. It is a GPU-less build. Hence the title of the streams. Alright, so we're going to remove those. We don't need those. You can keep them if you want. Now we're going to install these red AM5 spacers. These just go over top of these holes. like that. Then we're gonna need to get these new bridges, the metal ones. And these are gonna go like that. But before that, we gotta screw them down. Oh, I knocked them over. We're gonna screw them down into the motherboard's backplate. And then the actual CPU heatsink is gonna attach to these bridges. Hand tighten them for now. Do it on the other side. Knocked over both the spacers over here. Get that one going. Like that. And then this last one up here. Like so. Now I'm gonna tighten them all down. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all tightened. Now we can get the heatsink out. We are 100% definitely not forgetting to uninstall that sticker. We definitely did not forget that. Peel off that as well. Gonna get some, or we'll just use this thermal paste that it comes with. The ID Cooling Frost X25, we can just use that. Gonna do a healthy size P dot right in the middle. That'll be plenty for it to cover the whole CPU. Like so. It's about what I would use for a square shaped CPU. Now these two screws on either side are gonna screw down onto those bridges. And again, we've removed the sticker. We're good. Now here we're gonna go back and forth, making sure we evenly apply pressure. I don't think I actually screwed that one in. Should we line it up here? I don't think that went in again. All right, let's loosen this one up a little bit more. Rotate this so I can actually see it. Now we can catch the screw there. And now we'll go back and forth to evenly apply pressure across the CPU until it is fully tightened. Apply the pressure. I got it. I got the pressure. There we go. Heatsink is installed. Now we will use these wire brackets to hook through the holes in the fan. We actually did it the wrong way because we want to be mindful of where the cable is. We want the cable to be down towards the motherboard. So we want the brackets on this side. Loop them through. And now the motherboard, or I'm sorry, the fan is going to go right up against the heatsink. And then with my thumbs, I'm just going to push forward and have those wire brackets wrap around the heatsink, and that's what keeps it into place there. Now I'm going to take the 4-pin PWM connector for the fan, plug that into the CPU fan header on the motherboard, and fold down the cable so we don't really see it. Tuck it up under there is fine. And now our motherboard prep is complete. We got the ASRock B650M Phantom Gaming Lightning Wi-Fi with a Ryzen 5 8600G APU, 32 gigs of Clev Bolt DDR5, the ID Cooling Frozen A410 cooler, and then a Clev Crass C910 1TB Gen 4 NVMe drive. Pretty clean. Have you gone to the Charlotte Micro Center? No. Should I? All right, here's our power supply. We got the MSI A650BE. This is the semi-modular version of the BN, which is a pretty solid tier C. What's the best micro center you've been into? I don't really know. They're all very similar. I haven't been to any of the new ones, which, if you told me that they're different compared to the other ones, I would believe you, because they're like new and all that. But from what I've seen, like most micro centers have a very similar layout. You know, some have more impressive like things to do, like racing simulator setups and 3D printer stuff and whatnot, but I mean, for the most part, like, they seem pretty similar. I've probably only been to, I don't know, maybe 3? So not a ton. Yeah, we don't need any of these cables. Oh my god. We don't even need SATA power. Oh my god, we don't need any of this without a GPU. Our semi-modular has the 4+4 and the 24 pin. We don't need anything else. Oh, that's wild. Oh wow, that's crazy. Yeah, we don't need any of those additional cables. Let's go. All right, here's our Lian Li A3. What all do we have to do here? We got to remove this panel. We don't need this. How do you feel about used like new on Amazon resale? I mean, I buy stuff on Amazon resale, particularly motherboards, but it's less about that condition tab and it's more about researching the seller on Amazon. Like, who is saying it's used like new? Does that seller have good reputation for selling quality PC parts? How was your time in Arkansas? For my military career, we were first stationed in Tokyo. We lived there for 2 years. And then for the next 3 years, we lived in Arkansas. So it was a drastic difference of life going from Tokyo to Arkansas. But I can confidently say that we made the best of living there. We got really into outdoor stuff, which is like kind of what you have to do. I got my big old lifted F-150 while I was down there. We got a bass boat. We got really into bass fishing. I was doing some off-roading with the truck. I mean, it was fun. It was fun. Met some of my best military friends. We had such a good, oh man, we had such a good friend group in Arkansas. So many good friends. Try to get this in here so we can finish this build. Do you think the GPU shortage will be done in a few months? I mean, here in the United States, absolutely nobody knows, man. The good news is, I was saying it earlier, the RTX 5070 and 5070 Ti have been not impossible to find close to MSRP lately, which is definitely good. AMD's 9070, 9070 XT, 5080, and 5090, they are still pretty much close to impossible to find at good prices. And then all of previous generation is like definitely gone. But we just don't know, man. We just don't know. I mean, I gotta take this out real quick. We get news about tariffs every day. Like, who knows? Who knows? We just gotta take the punches and take what the market gives us. Go to zttbuildhelp.com and check out the PSU tier list. What racing wheel do you use? I have the Moza R9. When I was making sim racing content last year, Moza was sending me like everything. They originally sent me an R5, which was great. I love the R5. And then I told him, I was like, I really want to get a formula wheel. I was like, is there any way that you can send me the formula wheel? And they're like, oh yeah, we would love to, but with the formula wheel, we recommend you use an R9 instead of your R5. I was like, oh. I mean, if you're offering, I'll take an R9, sure. And then I have Next Level Racing. They sent the, I don't know, one of their racing sims. I'm not exactly sure which model it is. But yeah, it's fun. What's the build today? This is an APU build. No graphics card. We are going to be using the CPU's integrated G... Oh, I missed the standoff. Only one? I can install one standoff. My bad. I gotta take that whole thing out. Good thing we didn't get too far. Wait, there is a standoff. What the... Am I just blind? What happened? Oh my god, there is a standoff. Wow. I just didn't see it. Alright, we're good. Sojai. Need some water. Hold on. Hold on. Sojai, after saying that he's only doing one donation today, with the second donation immediately following up on that one, says, so I bought a new Z790 motherboard. All my other parts were fine. I swapped my height Y40 for a Y60 and bought the easy DIY red and black PSU extensions, and everything works great for now. Nice, man. Sounds like you got some good upgrades to go along with that. Nice. I like easy DIY for the extensions, especially their multicolored ones like that, the red and black. What GPU should I get for 1440p? I mean, 1440p is a drastic range of graphics cards. I mean, you can go from, I mean, like a used 3070 for $280 here in the States, up to 9070 XT. I mean, the 9070 XT can play in 4K, but I think most people consider it a 1440p card still. It all depends on how much you want to spend. Thoughts on the 4060 low profile? I mean, if you need a low profile GPU, it's, I think, the best possible option now. I love it. It's the one time I won't badmouth a 4060. If you need a low profile GPU, that's a lot of power for a low profile card. Kuma's back. Kuma with the 20. Says, chat stopped asking me if I'm... Chat, stop asking me if I'm a millionaire. I guess you guys will never know. Kuma's putting up some big time baller super chats today. And he does not have the YouTube chat backup. They failed him miserably. Thank you for all the super chats though, man. Appreciate it. What NAS would you recommend for a lower budget? I mean, for low budget, I would recommend building a NAS yourself. That will give you the best value. All right, I'm gonna try to let you guys see what I'm plugging in, but it's very difficult because of the camera angle. But first, I'm going to plug in the USB-C. Sorry if you happen to see my bald spot during this process. USB-C is plugged in. We also have a USB 3.0, which we will plug in. We got some HD audio, which is going to be in the bottom left, which you definitely can't see, but I'm going to plug it in anyway. That's plugged in. And then we have our front panel connector, which has them all attached to one connector, which is always much appreciated, especially in smaller cases like this. That's going to be at the bottom right, which is now plugged in. That is all of the connectors for the case. Yeah, let's do the power supply. So for this case, we have to uninstall the front panel, I believe, and the top panel. There we go. Now we can slot in the power supply. We want the fan to be up front. That way it can intake fresh air. And that will not really act as our intake fan because it's just going to be exhausting out the top. Should have grabbed my screws out of the bag first. What case is that? It is the Lian Li A3. It is a micro ATX. Kind of looks like a small form factor ITX though. Wait, I forget. How do I do this? Oh yeah, this happened last time. We have to remove, we don't just install the power supply in there. We have to remove the power supply mount so we can actually install it. Okay, so we'll take out that screw. And we'll take out that screw. And then this should pop out like this. We got that. And now we can install the power supply. Maybe. To this. Can you guys see that? And then we can install that whole bracket back into the case. Just like so. Would rather have my ad blocker work instead of dealing with ads? Yeah, that's fine. If I have no, I think it's a perfectly fine excuse if you rather watch on YouTube. But if you want to earn points for the giveaway, just open up a second browser tab and keep Twitch open at the same time. Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people prefer the viewing experience of YouTube more. That's up to you, man. Kuma definitely likes the YouTube better. Kuma with another $10 super chat says, "Chat, I'm cooked. This better get his attention or else I will go to Pittsburgh and ask him infinite questions, including the question he skipped." I didn't skip anything, man. I'm not skipping questions on you. Trying to farm you for another follow-up super chat. I wouldn't do that to you, man. Although I definitely do not see a message from you. I'm not gonna lie. The boomer skipped my question so I won't sleep well tonight. Is that the one I missed? No, I don't think I skipped one. Nope, I don't see one. How old are you again? I am 33. My internet provider isn't throttling my download speeds today, Dub. Nice. All right, there we go. Now the power supply is fixed there up at the front. We're going to take this power supply cable that loops around to the back of the case right here. Basically an extension cable. Now we can install our top panel like so. And the front panel. If you haven't heard me talk about this, the Lian Li A3, this case, they have different front panels that you can buy, like wood grain, black, I think there's a white, etc. There's people on Etsy that also sell front panels that are like 3D printed or like wood engraved or something. They look really cool. I really want to support people like that on such a, like, selling such a niche product for like one specific case. I think that's super cool. All right, that's installed. Now we can take our 2 power supply connectors, plug in the 24 pin for the motherboard right there, and then we can plug in the 4+4 for the CPU. And I mean, that's pretty much it. We got one more fan to install, but that's about it. Very basic build today. Not a lot of action. No GPU. Lian Li A3 is super easy to work inside of. Not gonna spend a whole time cable managing. Yeah, we'll put in 1 rear exhaust fan and then call it a day. I don't really feel the need to do much else, especially when there's not even a GPU. So we have a video going live tomorrow, a long form video tomorrow, using the 30s. It uses the 3070 in 1440p, and I'm not gonna lie, like I've been kind of a 3070 hater. I mean, I definitely don't like the 8 gigabytes of VRAM. And in my testing, we even had a game be like that. You don't have enough VRAM. But I admittedly still was very surprised that the 3070 can still kick it in 1440p gaming. It wouldn't be my first choice. At that price range, like on the used market, I would much prefer a 6700 XT with 12 gigs. Performs a little bit better as well. But I specifically wanted to test out the 3070. And in 1440p, it did better than I thought. So I don't know why you're getting stuttering. It could be anything. Painful 300 Biddy says Kuma is paying you to be gaslighted. Is that what it is? How does your hiring process work if I want to work for you part-time building PCs? We aren't looking for help right now. To be honest, I mean, we don't really have a process. When we need somebody, I post about it in the community. Thankfully, we have a big enough following that I don't have to ask, or I don't have to post on like Indeed and ZipRecruiter anymore like I used to. We can just ask people in the community, and there's enough people that apply that are in Pittsburgh, which is super clutch. But yeah, I mean, we're just not hiring right now. I can't hire more PC builders during the GPU supply issues. My #1 focus right now as an owner is trying to keep the people that I do have busy, which is quite frankly pretty stressful. Will this PC be on the monthly Discord drop? Eventually, but not anytime soon. This is for a YouTube video, and all YouTube video builds go on the drops, but this video is for like 3 videos from now, so we're working ahead a little bit. When you move, will you hire new staff in Houston? It's not 100% solidified who's staying in Pittsburgh and who's coming with me. We will most likely need to hire some people when we get there, yeah. But I am, quite frankly, not too worried about that. I'm focused on... That's not till next year. I am focused on this year and surviving the GPU supply issues. Like I said, keeping everybody busy is a super top priority of mine right now. We will cross that bridge next year. We're not moving to Houston until next year. All right, I'm just trying to route this PWM connector, and now I'm looking for the PWM connector, and I'm realizing that there's one on the bottom. There's no more up at the top, which is that's a shame. That is a big shame, because that's not going to reach all the way down there. we're gonna have to, yeah, we're gonna have to go the ugly way down here. Okay, all right, that's plugged in. That's that. Nothing else I can really do about that. Okay. All right. Pretty easy build. Sorry, guys. That's about it. That's the $600 APU Ryzen 5 8600G build. Again, the reason why I picked the Lian Li A3 is because I don't really like how like a big fish tank or just a big case in general looks without a graphics card. So for this one, you know, you just close up this side panel. Can't really tell that there's no GPU in here. Just got a nice little small form factor looking build. That's it, man. We're gonna make a full YouTube video about this, testing out what gaming looks like without a graphics card in 2025. I'm actually excited to see how it handles the new titles, but yeah, that is how to put it together.